Good evening. Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, March 18th, 2024. We have in attendance with us tonight the following city officials.
Mayor Jamie Sloots.
Here.
Safety Service Director Renee Baker.
Here.
Law Director Justin Richard.
Present.
Chief Counsel Earl Wise.
Here.
Director of Development Ted Hernkane.
Here.
Police Chief Jason St. Noy.
Here.
Fire Chief Matthew Heck.
Here.
Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron.
Present.
Code Enforcement Officer Dan Victor.
Here.
That's it. And I'm Sir President.
Assistant Law Director Ed Mack will be here in a moment.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for being here. Under number 5 on the agenda this evening is where the public can speak on any item that appears on tonight's agenda. And then under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on tonight's agenda as well. I want to remind anyone at this time with a cell phone to please turn it down and set it on vibrate as well. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Brian Booth.
Present.
Kramer.
Present.
Cunningham.
Present.
Gregg.
Here.
Harvey Smith.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Lombardi.
Here.
Ray.
Here.
And Sneed.
Here.
Roll call of 9 present.
Good. Tonight, invocation, please. Councilman Jill Kramer.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the journal, Madam Clerk, of the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing.
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made?
No, there are not.
Then the meetings stand approved as written. Item number 5 is remarks and delegations of citizens to matters on tonight's agenda. This is the part of the agenda where the community may speak on any topic that appears on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to speak on something on this agenda, please step forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Due to the overwhelming response we have this evening, I do have a timer, so everybody has a chance to speak. The floor is open.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Phillips. I live in Ward 5. I live on Albrecht Street. My home is 60 feet from the proposed facility, and I am in the city limits of Massillon. I have multiple concerns like everybody else in this room. I just want to talk a little bit about what I'm most concerned about, and that is the noise pollution. We know with 100% certainty that this facility will make a significant amount of noise that will affect our lives. We're getting conflicting answers as to how this is properly going to be mitigated. We've talked about this before, but I think it's worth reiterating. We know the long-term exposure to noise pollution has negative effects on humans and animals alike. Just a few: hearing damage, sleep disturbances, fatigue, anxiety, stress, decreased concentration, and keep in mind we have children in our neighborhood. Many of us have animals. We know that it causes increased aggression, lower productivity. We know that it makes wildlife scatter. This has already happened as Big Bear came in and leveled the property. They got rid of every habitat from every living creature that was living on those acres. So health-wise, we're very concerned about our families. Having said all that, I did want to address a couple things about what Mr. Paul Hansen had to say last week with his team of people. He came in and said a lot of things that everybody wanted to hear, but a few things stuck out at me. He was questioned repeatedly about the decibel level. He said that 30 would be whisper quiet, so obviously that's what we want. But he's expecting 40 to 50. He was repeatedly asked if we were going to be able to enjoy our outdoor spaces, and thank you for being persistent about that. In my opinion, he seemed to hem-haw around and not really know what to say or what good answer to give, so he finally said, "You're going to hear the machines. You're going to hear the machines." And then he went on to say that they're going to use their best educated guess to get to this level. So that's three things that really concern me. A 40 to 53 decibel level, you're going to hear the machines, and they're going to use an educated guess to get to that point. But not to worry, because once it's built, he went on to say that if it's still too loud, we can deal with it at that time. So, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really want to rely on having to rely on that once it's built. I think when they're in there, they're going to be doing their thing, they're going to be making their money. They're not going to care what our neighborhood thinks. They're not going to care about a decibel level. They've won. At that point, they have won. But we are going to fight this forever if we have to, as long as we're living in our homes, which will be forever because now our homes are unsellable. Would any of you buy a home next to a beer facility? Probably not. Our values have gone down. So the fact is, they can't tell us what the decibel level is going to be because they've never done this before. They've never made a facility that has been low noise. So please don't let beer come into our neighborhood, come into our city, and use that as a testing ground to try to get the decibel level lowered. So in conclusion, some of you might be on the fence about this, some of you might be voting yes. Please consider what your vote would look like if this facility was going to be built next to your home, next to your family, or next to your children. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, did you sign the sheet? You did?
Did.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Larry Jenkins in Ward 2. I'm here in solidarity with Ward 5.
You need to speak into the mic, please.
I'm Larry Jenkins. I'm here in solidarity with Ward 5 representation. I live in Ward 2. We are currently putting up with noise that's been there for the last 12 months. We are in negotiations apparently with the company to get this resolved. I can only hope that that happens. But I don't want anybody in this city to have to put up with what we put up with for the last 8, 9, 10 months. It's my experience with this particular company that they'll say whatever they have to do and do whatever they have to do until they're forced to do what is right. And there is cause of concern with regards to health issues. At nighttime, the sound is so bad you can't go to sleep. And I don't want this to happen to Ward 5 people too. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council and President Slater. My name is Steve Bookman. I live in Perry Township. I would like to discuss the amendment for the plotting of this property tonight. The two existing storm drains that you have on this property right now are dumping out onto probably several hundred yards from the creek. The creek in question, the one that keeps flooding. These drains, was made with a drain easement for the water to soak into the ground and have time to evaporate. So these city drains are not causing you a problem at this time. They've been like that for 50 years. Nobody has ever heard of any problems out there, have you? No. These drains soak into the ground, they don't make it to the creek. This amendment, you will be giving up your rights for this property to drain your drains onto this property. You're giving it up. You're going to now have to take this water, pipe it around 9th Street, and the other one, they said they were going to pipe into the retaining pond. The other one's going to go into the creek directly, into the plugged creek, okay? So this is going to be a definite issue that you guys never had to deal with before. There is no way the city of Massillon, in good faith, can take its stormwater and put it into a creek that is plugged. It ain't going to work. There is no way Bitdeer can build this facility and have a retaining pond that drains into a creek that is plugged. they keep telling us that this is going to make it better. You cannot take 30 acres of water and put it into a retaining pond, which drains directly into a creek. That is why the pond is being built next to the creek. City of Massillon is allowed to flood their own property out and their own roads and any property they govern. City of Massillon is not allowed to flood out the residents of Perry Township. Bid Deer is allowed to flood out their own property. Bid Deer is not allowed to flood out the residents of Perry Township. You are creating low property levels. Your property levels are lowered. You're creating repeatedly property damage. And third and utmost, you're creating an atmosphere where young children play by this creek. Flooded waters is not good for young children to play around. The last thing we want to do is pull a child from flooded waters. There's a lot to decide here tonight on this project. And I assure you, not one person in this building is voting yes on this would be willing to live beside it. That being said, I ask City Council to make the right decision here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else?
Hi everyone, my name is Cheyenne Deal. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna look at my notes. So some of these questions you guys might not be able to answer, but I did want to know if there was any factors that might motivate a small American town to consider the construction of a Bitcoin facility, particularly when the facility's owner is a Chinese billionaire. Does anybody have any answers? Oh, you can't ask questions? Okay, well, I would just like everyone to consider the questions that I asked them. That's okay. So I would also like to know if there's any measures that are going to be put in place to ensure that the electricity usage of the proposed Bitcoin mining facility will not result in additional costs being passed on to the residents of our town. Once again, I phrased all of these questions. I wasn't aware that we couldn't ask questions, so if anyone wants to consider these, just...
What ward do you live in?
Sorry, what was that?
What ward do you live in?
5.
Okay.
Yep.
Send those questions to your ward councilman.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so one last consideration is I was wondering how the facility would handle electronic waste generated from the mining operations. Mr. Slater, thank you for telling me to send those questions to the board. I will go ahead and do that. I have them all written out, so I can do that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jack Reese, and I live on 17th Street Southwest. Now, I don't know much about zoning and all this, but I don't think that area is zoned back there for that type of factory. It is, well, in fact, they bulldozed right up to my property line, so I know I'm real close. But I've dealt with this stuff before, when we had Americold and them move in. They said they was going to take care of everything, the noise, all the trees, the stuff. I was here at a couple different meetings, and they agreed to plant trees around their facility, keep the noise down, and have certain lights that weren't shining right directly in my house. I haven't been able to open my windows in my house for 20 years, and I can't go out in the backyard. It's so loud that you can't stand it. So I'm thinking all these guys, I don't know who they are. I don't know much about this project because I didn't hear about it until the day before yesterday. And I don't know if council, it seems like they weren't informed because I never heard nothing about it. I don't think that's right, and I don't think they should build that thing back there in that spot. Is that, I don't have a question. I kind of did, but I don't. I don't know what the zoning is right there, but I know they changed the zoning on me when I was arguing with Americold about their thing. So I just want to tell people here tonight that what you hear in here doesn't always come out the way it's said. I should have got things in writing and I didn't. So I'm just looking ahead so this don't happen to us again. So I have the noise from the new place and the noise from the Maricold. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Dennis Magnus. I live on Carmont, which is actually Perry Township, but I live a mile away from Greg Brothers and can hear that noise 24 hours from Greg Brothers. I can't imagine what the sound is going to be coming from this facility and these people that have houses right next door to them. It's going to be crazy. Whenever the asphalt plant is running across the street from 21, I can hear that, and those two sounds from Greg and that are annoying. And I'm a mile or two away from each one of those, let alone these guys living in that neighborhood. So, thank you.
Yes, sure.
Mr. President, can I make a comment?
Yes, sure.
Just want to clarify, you are welcome to ask questions tonight. You're certainly welcome to ask questions, but we're not able to answer those questions tonight. We have a process in place where questions that are asked tonight, we can get answers and have those for the next meeting. But I don't want people to understand or to believe that we can't ask questions. We certainly can. We're here. That's why we're here, to listen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thanks City Council for the speaker today. I just want to, last week's meeting, I just want to reiterate something real quick that.
Your name.
Tim Phillips, Albrecht Street Southwest. Like I said, my wife said our property is 60 feet away, corner to corner, 60 feet. The council member, I can't remember his name, asked about the noxious noise for a light industrial. All right, and he did mention something about decibel readings. So my wife and I took it upon ourselves to buy 2 decibel readers. And everyone of you got copies. And one was taken on Monday afternoon during the middle of the day. I got from my property all the way down to the proposed site, all the way around the corner to every single business. Every one of them. And you got them right in front of you. Not one of them was over 60. Actually, most of them are in the 40s. I took the same readings on Saturday with a different decimal reader. And it was exactly the same. So Monday through Saturday, and these places are closed. You know, they operate during the day, but in the evening times, those people go home. These places don't run 24 hours a day. So even with, there's one photograph in here with Tower Industries, and they got a big blower. That was the loudest one, and it was like at 60. That was during the day. My last photograph you'll see is me in my truck driving 40 miles an hour past the same facility with my radio on, and it was only 64. So Bitcoin thinks they can keep us under 50. There's no way possible. The proposed plant was already at 45, right across the street from the power station. There's no way it can be done. If they can guarantee that, I'll talk. I'll listen. But from wherever I can read on the internet, if you get on there and look up anything to do with noise from Bitcoin factories, it's page after page after page. Nothing but complaints. I printed some of them out for you. I ran out of ink, I'm sorry. But I couldn't print all hundreds of them out. And I do got one more thing I want to do real quick. Niagara Falls had a Bitcoin mine. Niagara Falls. The mayor shut the plant facility down because the neighbors complained so much they couldn't even hear the water. So now you guys want some decibel reading you can go by? This mayor, you all have a copy of it, states right here that he will not reopen the plant until the decimal meters is 40 to 50. That was his goal. Now, if they can operate that, they can't guarantee anything. I wrote it down. I got every quote from Paul Hansen last week. Can't guarantee anything. I got them all right here. Can't guarantee. Everything in our power we can do. 400 feet from a residence. I got all these quotes. Best intent. Their best intent. What the hell is that? You know, there's 130 some Bitcoin mines in the United States right now. They take 2% of the grid. 2%. Just the Bitcoin mines. That's enough for the whole state of Utah. Now, figure that out. Why are they coming here? They're banned in China. I don't care what they say. I got the articles. Notice down, they are banned. They're undermined facilities off the grid that they can't find. That's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bear with me, I'm a little nervous, I've never done this. My name is Dawn Goodwin, and, yeah, I'm little. So, my name is Dawn Goodwin, and I was here, I first lived on the highway, before it was the highway. And then they came in, they destroyed our houses, and they put a highway there. Then we put ball fields there. How does this affect our kids? Okay, in reality, we have ball fields, we have soccer fields there now. They took them from the middle school and put them there. What happens to our kids? How does this affect our kids? This pollution, it's noise, it's radiation, it's in our lungs. We're gonna be breathing it, they're gonna be breathing it. We take our children there, our young infants, let them go run around and play. Those are the infant ones. Those are our little t-ball kids over there playing. There are the next step up, I forget because I've done it so long, but the bigger kids are actually down at Community Park. Do you understand? How many kids are breathing this, are affected by this? That is one thing nobody has touched on at any of this point. That is all I want to say. Thank you.
Right. I'm Todd Goffthorne. I live in Ward 5. I live literally 50 feet away. I'm asking any of you, would you want to live 50 feet away? I mean, it's a question you can answer in a further conversation, but like, I literally have, second story sitting 50 feet, away from their 25 facilities that are about to happen. What would any of you do in this situation? I was feeding deer every day. Now I'm watching squirrels sit on stumps. This is supposed to be a community that's for the environment. You guys do a pretty good job of what you're doing here in this community. Continue to try to do the right thing. Don't put this there. This is light industrial. This is right behind my house, okay? I'm a finished carpenter. I work every single day, 12 hours a day. It's really confusing to me. I'm a cabinet maker, and I have respect for people. I leave their houses at a certain time, and everybody has time to relax. I will now have nothing. I have nothing to live for. That's what's going to end up. That I just left. I got, after a 26-year divorce, okay, took my 82-year-old mother to the corner of a tiny little area with a bunch of really cool people in the community, and it's all going to get stripped wet. All right? And I'm sorry for, the emotion, but this sucks. All right? And sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Slater. I'm going to...
Hang on one second.
Okay, go ahead.
The last gentleman that spoke,
Yes,
if you
sir.
get a moment, please sign the paper.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay,
I'll get it.
thank
I'll
you.
let him speak first.
President Slater, I just wanted, before I start my thing, I want to thank you for your persistence. I know you when Jimmy Hoffister was doing it, you persisted. I appreciate you, and God bless you for seeing through. This is what Massillon's about. Lawrence DeLuca, LJ DeLuca, 3900 Mount Pleasant Street, North Canton, Ohio. I've lived at the Legends of Massillon. I'm in Massillon every day. I'm very upset about this even getting on to even be considered. I'm very upset. First off, it's going to pollute the air, it's going to guzzle the energy, the toxins in the air, and it's going to make noise. And what's going to be left here is a big, ugly shell. Has anybody in here seen what these look like? A big, ugly shell. Now, I talked to some people in the administration and said, well, we'll just remarket that. You're going to tell, a big, ugly shell? I don't even think Ed Lewis would even go with that. This is not right. Okay? And this is Zhonghua Wu, the CEO of Bitdeer, based in China. It's not uncommon nowadays to do business in Singapore, okay? The toxic water, the constant noises. I talked to the health department director there. I said, did anybody talk to you about this? She said, no, it's the first I heard about it. I said, well, I think you ought to talk about it and contact the administration to find out what's going about it, okay? A company called Marathon is putting another thing. This is going to be rapid. They may even come back to Massillon to get another 2 or 3. Okay, this Bitdeer guy, let's talk about him. He's the recognition of the blockchain. I know, he's a Fortune Legend 40 and under, a billionaire, personal wealth. He's based in China. And I have some things about that. Also, have any of you looked at some of the reviews? Anybody? Okay, why don't you look at the reviews? And here's just some, real quick, because there's a lot of them. I can't use them. Here's one here. It was in Date of Experience, February 21st, 2023. My personal experience is their support service is the worst I ever had. Their cloud mining contracts are very confusing and completely fake. Okay? You have to pay for the contract, electricity fees, and before the first 6 days, and it's extremely expensive. Many YouTubers lie about the Bitdeer reviews. Take care. In fact, you pay more on what you own. That's the same BS. And I'll make, I've got another one here, okay? This one here is very difficult. This was on, these are recent, not bad, April 20th, 2023. It's a very difficult site to deal with. It's not clear, and technical support is very bad. Yes, they answer, but they don't give you a solution to any problem. I bought a small plan for beginners, and I had to get a profit estimate of $24, but during that month, the mining period for my plan, they made change in my wallet address 4 times. And every time they told me that that wallet has a minimum deposit for Bitcoin, you know what that is? 0.005. And I did not think that's a problem because the profit would come in greater than the amount. And finally, when the plan period ended, and it was a month, did not enter any amount in my wallet. That's just 2 of many. Anybody aware of what they do to cool these? Big fans, I've seen them. They use what they call immersed cooling service, and they're thermally conductive dielectric liquid or coolant, which is much better heat conductor than air and water and oil. The coolant itself never changes state though. So with help of the heat exchanger, the heat is transferred to a cooler water circuit. The technique guarantees little or no risk of cooling. I have a lot of things about this here. In 2021, they did stop mining, I think, in China. About 1 minute left. Oh, thank you, Mr. Slater, President Slater. In 2021, they did stop in the United States. They went down to Texas. The rapid growth of this crypto mining threatens to strain Texas grid and raise the rates too, by the way. We're not getting full transparency of the operation. The public can't fully understand the true impact of the operations on local communities and climate. We have noise pollution. And by the way, I have things that I called a lot of these people. I didn't just come in here. I'm a fact guy. Everybody knows me. 95 decibels. This was in Murphy, North Carolina. You can look it up. Do you know what 95 decibels is like? I looked that up. It's like a big highway rig trailer sound, and also it's like standing next to a running motorcycle. So I say there's many things that the mayor can do, and we can do, and Ted Hurricane can do. We can bring in companies that are going to be nicer for the environment. We can do this. This should never, ever been even brought up. I'm very disappointed that it's brought up. Thank you. Thank you.
Floor still open. Anyone else?
Okay, so my name is Jennifer Phillips, and I have a letter here with a petition attached. The letter states, date today, addressed to President of the Council, Mike Slater. and then all of the council members, including Clerk of Council Diane Rowland.
Could you speak
Also-
into the mic, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I have a letter here. It says, I'm Jennifer Phillips, a local resident from Massillon, Ohio. I live in Ward 5, a Perry Township resident. I started a petition to you, and so far I have 284 people that have joined me in the effort. The petition states, urgent petition in opposition to Bitdeer Mine in Massillon. Say no. Please help us protect the prized element of our quality of life and wellness of the southwest side of Massillon. Massillon residents deserve peace and quiet. Quality of life and public health should be in the forefront of the decision-making process when the city of Massillon is considering bringing new businesses to Massillon. Bitdeer's only noise mitigation for the loud bit mining operations, which could be up to 70 plus decibels 24/7, 7 days a week, is a simple wooden fence and some trees. Bitdeer is not concerned about noise pollution and various other health issues that have been linked to Bitcoin mining operations and a very unregulated industry such as Bitcoin mining. Profitability and production are going to drive residents to the brink. As production increases, so does the noise. Profitability and production are in the forefront of Bitdeer's mine. The health issues that are most concerning to residents, including myself living just 150 feet away from the site, would be stress, sleep disturbance, anxiety, and even cardiovascular problems. I have an 11-year-old son, very smart child. If his cognitive ability is affected by this because he's stressed and he's having sleep disturbances, that would be completely devastating to everyone in our family. I have a link of the petition. If you would like, I can send the PDF or the version that you would need to see, showing my fellow signers for your records. I'd like to ask, please, a response be given to these concerns and how the city plans to address these critical issues. I think that it's not just on Bitdeer, it's on the city as well to address some of these health concerns for the residents, especially those that are living within a 2-mile radius before the plant is built. So I have the petition here as well, and a lot of it we've discussed already, but the concerns that we have living so close to the site is not only the noise pollution, but the electricity usage and the environmental effects, including pollution to the water because of their water cooling methods. They do put chemicals in those waters that are on site there, very close to our home, in the retention ponds. I have an article attached to the petition about a noisy Bitcoin mine. It says the noise level is described by people who live near Bitcoin mining operations. It's as incessant and invasive as a jet engine. This is stated by Craig Ponder, a former Navy flight meteorologist and local resident near a Bitcoin mine in Washington County, Tennessee. He says, the cryptocurrency's mine sounds brings back memories. To me, it truly sounds like a jet in our backyard, sitting in the tarmac, spinning and ready to take off at times. Ponder said, it's worse at night. So these are things that we don't want to get used to. We don't want to be a resident that lives near a Bitcoin mine. Isn't there another site that could be proposed? There are many developers in the city of Massillon. The site we discussed is not even zoned for heavy industrial. So why would it be so difficult? It could be, it doesn't have to be. Another site could be proposed for the development of this mine if that's what Massillon chooses. So that's all I have today.
My name's Wayne Crawford. I live in Ward 5. If
none of you have done this yet, Google, is Bitcoin mining loud? Arkansas is trying to ban it statewide. They don't want it. They've got so many complaints now. The whole state is trying to ban it. New York, Buffalo, Niagara, the entire state, they're trying to go through legislation to keep it out of the entire state. They don't want it on their farmlands. They don't want it anywhere. I live probably 150 yards from one of the buildings that are going to go up. We just put $30,000 in our backyard. We're retiring. We're all in this neighborhood are getting ready to retire. Now, I can see State Route 21. They have lied. They said they're going to leave a buffer zone. Look at your recordings. They're going to leave a buffer zone. That crap's gone. There is no buffer zone. We're going to put up a soundproof fence. A 10-foot soundproof fence? Are you serious? 26 buildings running all day? A 10-foot fence. That's not going to stop anything. They're going to flood us out. Steve has talked about this repeatedly with you guys. We're Perry Township. I'm sorry I'm not in Massillon. I can tell you, if this passes, I will never spend a cent in the city of Massillon. We're middle income. We trade in cars every 4 years. The last 8 years have been in Massillon. I'm due for a van. Not happening. Pharmacies, grocery stores. Sorry, Mr. Bookman, I won't be buying tires in Massillon anymore. There's no other way that we can go about is pull our money. I live in Perry, I'll shop in Perry. I'll go to North Canton, I'll go to Canton. I won't spend a cent in Massillon. Thank you.
I'm short. Thank you. Okay. Hi, my name's Debbie and Boswell, and I live about 150 feet from where this plant's going to be built. Sorry if I get emotional. I chose to live where I'm at right now. I chose it because it's beautiful out there. The wind chimes I have going, the birds, the deer in our backyard. I've raised our daughter there, has been raised. Now I have 3 beautiful grandchildren. The other day, my granddaughter asked me, she goes, and my neighbors will know, here's Nana going down the road with her little cart, you know, pushing my grandchildren down Albright Avenue. And my biggest thing, my granddaughter, who just turned 4, we would go down Albright and go around the turn on 9th Street where the building's at, where they're going to put it. We would stop and pick wildflowers. And she goes, Nana, we're going to do that again, right? I go, no, honey. The look in that child's eye, to knowing that I can't take her down there because of the noise, because of the water, everything else, that broke my heart. I don't know if you people have children or not. If you want to live around there with all that noise, water pollution, not me. Not me. I chose when I moved there 35 years ago to live there. I did not choose for this company to come in and ruin our lives. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Ken Ashman. I live on 17th Street Southwest. I'm roughly 3/4 of a mile from that place, probably a little closer, way at Close 5. I didn't come with anything prepared tonight because I kind of wanted to see what was going on here. I got to tell you what, I'm impressed with the people of the city of Massillon. Thank you. Some of the things that I can add to this, though, is I don't know if anybody in this room has any idea what a constant 24-hour-a-day noise is like. But I can attest to what 24-hour-a-day noise is like. I've traveled every one of the 50 states in this nation more than once, been around major businesses, all right, where I had to stay there for the night. I drove a truck, I had my own semi. Listen to what some of that stuff goes on there. Now, maybe it doesn't exactly represent what's going to supposedly happen down here. But I'm going to tell you, if things don't go right, Massillon Street pockets aren't deep enough to handle a company like that. You know, if they want to, once it's built, I'm kind of with the rest of these folks, it is what it is. It's not going to get any better. When there is one of the folks that have horses and stuff, I don't know if anybody's ever had animals like that, but you get them horses, you know, a constant noise like that, 24 hours a day, it's going to have to affect them. I'm not a veterinarian, but my mind's on the horses. You know, they're really sensitive to something like that. And that's not counting the other animals that beat around it. So, I don't know, I just wanted to put my little bit in there and know that, thank most of these people here right out of the gate and the council people. So I hope everybody does the right thing, and thank you for your time.
Sure.
Last call.
Hi, I'm Mike Maxheimer, live on 9th Street, live Ward 5, is that correct? Yeah. Last time I was here was about 16 years ago. I stood before the mayor at the time and the council because me and my wife, been married about 19 years, had just had our first 2 children. We have 6 now. And the noise pollution that came in with the nightclub behind us prevented us from tucking in our daughter, putting her to sleep, singing songs, saying prayers with her. And we stood here with our community and we asked for help. And we had a mayor at the time who said this is not right. Then we got sued for speaking the truth, a whole neighborhood. And the baseline of everything was money. It was money. It wasn't what was best for the people. It wasn't what was best for the community. It was money. And so now we're here, 17 years later. In fact, the house was so bad and the resolution to settle out of court was a soundproof fence and shrubs, which did nothing. So me and my wife had to make the hard decision to leave the home that we had saved up for and built, and we bought a foreclosed home down the road because I had to financially subsidize that home that I could no longer live in because of the sound pollution. And so I paid for that home, didn't want to lose it, and I built till 1, 2 in the morning for 4 months straight. So we had another home to raise our kids. And then eventually, when the place went out of business, I sold the home. You guys are elected by us. You're here to not just ask the question, what is best financially for our city, but what is best for our people, our community, our neighborhoods. There's not one case study out there that says this is beneficial for a community. The only benefit is money. That's it. There's not one case study. In fact, there's many case studies that these have been shut down because of the overwhelming response. This is not a good decision. This is not good for our community. We choose to live here. We could live elsewhere. We choose to do life here. I ran a nonprofit ministry, Montage Ministries, for 13 years, working with inner city kids because I believe in this community. I believe in the future that it has. I've invested heavily, blood, sweat, and tears in this community into the next generation. Me and my wife have been blessed with 6 kids. We run our business here. We have rental properties here. We believe in this community with all of our hearts. We choose to live here. So I'm just simply asking for you guys to consider this. This is an overwhelming response of people here from the neighborhood who care deeply about the neighborhood. This is not a good thing. Ed, this is not a good thing, brother. You know it. The money that may come from it may be good. But I believe in you. In fact, everyone here believes in you because we voted for you. So we believe that you have the willpower, you have the knowledge to come together and see how can we bring in a business that is beneficial for our city and in the same tone beneficial for our neighbors and our community, who are the heart and soul of this town. You can do it. Don't sell yourself short by bringing in a company that you know in your hearts is not worth bringing in, that is not the right thing to do. I plead to you to look past the numbers and truly do what is best for the people who stand here with you, who elected you. Thank you.
Can I make another comment?
Hi there, I'm Rachel Kennan. I live in Ward 5. It's hard to listen to the neighbors and their concerns, and you know, there's a lot of debate and discussion. This will be short. I just want to make sure everybody hears it, what this sounds like. Which is 24/7. 24/7. I know that's not what this meeting is about today, that you guys are here for, but something has to be done as far as ordinances or something preventative before this happens, before they build and before this all happens, so that we as a community aren't terrorized. Thank you.
I just want to emphasize the 24/7. That is what we're putting up with right now, Ward 5, with Green Metals, Fiber Core. 24/7. We're fighting these people. Hopefully we got some conclusions coming up, but we're fighting the bright lights. I've been doing that for 15 freaking years. Anybody that lives anywhere near a commercial facility that has these super bright security lights have some idea what we're talking about. You got pull the blinds down all the time. You can't sit out at night on your back porch and enjoy your facility. 24/7. Thank you.
I'm going to take a brief moment to let you guys all know that I do appreciate all of you coming out here, and the council will do their best to make the right decisions for everyone. All I ask you to do is be patient, let us get through this meeting, and make the right choices. We're going to move on to the next item up, and that's dealing with miscellaneous business as well. The City of Massillon is currently preparing 2 community development documents that involve funding the city receives from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The 5-year consolidated plan describes immediate goals from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2028, priorities and strategies of the community over a multi-year period. The annual action plan, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, describes the specific activities the city will undertake during this year to spend the CDBG funds. A public hearing will be held on Monday, March 25th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. right here. The purpose of this public meeting is to invite comments on the goals, priorities, strategies, and activities for the Consolidated Plan and Annual Action Plan. This was published to the Independent on March 18th, 2024. Just so everyone knows, the new PA system has begun already. As you can tell by there by the Skylink, form already installed. We'll continue working on that. At this time, I'd like to let everyone know that the appointment of Councilman Eric Ray to the Tax Incentive Review Council. According to Section 5709, .85 in the Ohio Revised Code under Title 57, Taxation for Taxable Property Exemptions, for the Tax Incentive Review Council, better known as TURC. One of the membership requirements is for one member of our city council to be appointed by the council president to represent our city. At this time, I would like to recognize Councilman Eric Ray for accepting this position. I believe, with his expertise in business, his excellent communication skills, he would be an asset not only to Turk, but also represent Massillon as well. This is once again an appointed position and does not need to be voted on. Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this past week I had the pleasure of going to Cleveland and we were in a federal court for mediation and I would like to take an opportunity to discuss that with council. So with that, in accordance with Division G3 of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code, I move that we enter into executive session for the purpose of conferencing with the city's attorneys to discuss pending court actions. I would like to include all members of council, the president of council, the mayor, safety service director, director of development, law director Justin Richard, assistant law director, and chief counsel into this meeting.
Second. Councilman Ray.
Creamer?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Howard Smith?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Lombardi?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sneed?
Yes.
And Brian Booth.
Yes.
9 yes to enter into executive session.
Councilman Lewis.
I'd like to make a motion that we exit executive session.
Second, please. Councilman Lombardi. Roll call, please.
Cunningham? Yes. Gray?
Yes.
Howard Smith?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Lombardi?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sneed?
Yes.
Brian Booth?
Yes.
And Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes to exit executive session.
Thank you, Councilman. Number 7, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. I'm sorry, Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we amend the agenda, adding resolution number 22-2024 to section 7 of our agenda, and it will be the last piece of business to come right after resolution number 21.
Second, Councilman Wright. Roll call, please.
Gray?
Yes.
Howard Smith?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Lombardi?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sneed?
Yes.
Brian Booth?
Yes.
Creamer?
Yes.
And Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes to amend the agenda to include resolution number 22-2024.
Ordinance number 33-2024. I apologize, I didn't make to jump back in this real fast. I'd like to bring forward Chris Thomas from Massillon Cable TV. I'd like to speak just for 3 minutes. He's been waiting patiently, so let's get him taken care of.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is Chris Thomas, head of government affairs for Massillon Cable, MCTV. Just wanted to introduce myself, give you business cards. If you have questions, concerns regarding the service, whether your own or constituents or anything along those lines. Just want you to feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do the best I can to resolve whatever questions you have. If I can't get back there, could you please? Thank you. Any questions?
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love the fiber optic.
What's that?
Love the fiber optic.
Perfect. I hear that. Speaking of the microphone these days. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 33-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to advertise for and receive sealed bids and to enter into a contract with the lowest and best bidder upon the approval of the Board of Control for the Fire Station Number 4 addition project and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Barton.
Yeah, this is for the additions that we discussed in the work session to Station Park. Are there any questions on this? I do plan on bringing this forward for a vote tonight. Okay, seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and bring ordinance number 33-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Snead. Roll call for suspension, please.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And the passage.
You forgot me.
Oh, I thought I started with you. Oh, no, I didn't. Greg.
Yes.
Okay, now it's 9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and Howard Smith.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 33-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 34-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1401 Capital Improvement Fund for the purpose of the Massillon Police Department for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this ordinance is just the funding for as it says, for the Massillon Police Department, as discussed last week. Are there any discussions or questions regarding this? Seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings on ordinance number 34-2024 for approval.
Second by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call for suspension, please.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Ray,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 34-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 35-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into a 1-year contract between the City of Massillon, Ohio, and the Board of Stark County Commissioners for the housing of City of Massillon, Ohio codified ordinance prisoners at Stark County Jail and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is a standard agreement that we do every year, just simply the fee that we are charged for housing our prisoners at Stark County Jail instead of a jail within our own city. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings for the ordinance number 35-2024 forward for a vote.
Second, please. Councilman Gray. Roll call for suspension.
Snead,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
and Sneed.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 35-2024 has passed. Resolution number 16-2024.
A resolution consenting to the mayor's appointment of Mandy Altima Stahl to the Historic Preservation Commission of the City of Massillon, Ohio, upon the recommendation of the Massillon Museum for the term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. We all understand that these appointments, we discussed them in the committee, or in the work session. Does anybody have any questions on these? Okay. Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring resolution number 16-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Sneed. Roll call for suspension, please.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
and Brian Booth.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 16-2024 has passed. Resolution number 17-2024.
A resolution considering to the mayor's appointment of Mike Knight to the Stormwater Review District of the City of Massillon, Ohio, for the term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Slater. Again, I'm just going to, if there's no questions, motion to suspend the rules.
Second by Councilman Sneed. Roll call for suspension, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 17-2024 has passed. Resolution number 18-2024.
A resolution considering to the mayor's appointment of Dave Irwin to the Stormwater Review District of the City of Massillon, Ohio, for the term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Slater. Any questions on this one? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and bring resolution number 18-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Cunningham. Roll call for suspension, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Hardwick Smith.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 18-2024 has passed as well. Resolution number 19-2024.
A resolution concerning to the mayor's appointment of Gary Miller to the Stormwater Review District of the City of Massillon, Ohio, for the term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Slater. If there are no questions on this, seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and bring resolution number 19-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 19-2024 has passed. Resolution number 20-2024.
A resolution consenting to the mayor's appointment of Kathy Heiser to the Board of Health of the City of Massillon, Ohio, for the term ending December 31st, 2027.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Slater. Any questions on this one? Then I make a motion, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and bring resolution number 20-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilwoman Booth. Roll call for suspension, please.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Sneed.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
and Brian Booth.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 21-204 has passed. Item number 8, unfinished business.
One more, we have more. We got more.
That was number 20. Resolution. That was 20.
And we still have resolution
That was
22
not
after that.
voted.
All 21, I'm sorry. Resolution number 21-2024.
A resolution consenting to the mayor's appointment of Sonia Glick-Ulam to the Board of Health of the City of Massillon, Ohio, for the term expiring December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lombardi.
Thank you, President Slater. Are there any questions on this one? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and bring resolution number 21-2024 forward for a vote.
Second, please. Councilman Sneed. Roll call for suspension.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 21-2024 has passed. Resolution number 22-2024.
A resolution authorizing and approving the Director of Law to finalize and enter into a settlement agreement and mutual release reflected in the material terms attached hereto, reached in the litigation caption as Town Plaza Ltd. versus City of Massillon, pending in the United States District Court of the Northern District of Ohio, as case number 5:23-CB-01730, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, as we have discussed under executive session, the city was in a legal matter with Town Plaza Limited. And we came to mediation last week, and we came to terms in which both sides seem to be pleased as long as this council comes in approval. In this particular situation, both parties would dismiss any charges against the other. in the suits, and the city of Massillon would take possession of 4 properties within the city, one being 10 Lincoln Way East, second being 14 Lincoln Way East, third 20 Lincoln Way East, and the fourth 28 Erie Street North. So, that is the basic elements of this, and what this will do is this will allow us or have us authorizing that the director of our law department is able to finalize these agreements and execute as necessary. Are there any discussions or questions this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring resolution number 22-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilwoman Lombardi. Roll call for suspension, please.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Howard Smith.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution 22-2024 has passed. Moving forward. Item number 8, unfinished business. Move forward. Number 9, petitions and general communications.
I have nothing.
Item number 10, bills, accounts, and claims.
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $1,299.20 for the publication of our October and November 2023 ordinances.
Councilman Lewis,
I make a motion to pay bills.
need a second, please. Councilman Gray. Roll call, please.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes to pay the bills.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The clerk will pay the bills and charge them to the proper accounts. Reports from city officials.
Yes, we have the treasurer's report for January 2024 and the mayor's report for February 2024.
Item number 12, reports of committees. Our next work session will be Monday, March 25th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Resolutions and requests of council members. Seeing none. Have one. Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, President Slater. I just want to remind everybody, tomorrow is primary in Ohio, and you can vote from 6:30 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cunningham. Call the calendar. Seeing none. Item number 15, third reading ordinances and resolutions. All right, moving forward. Number 16, second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 28-2024.
An ordinance to accept the dedication of road right-of-way and easements for Kingland Creek Estates, Phase 4 subdivision, Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Kramer.
Thank you, President Slater. This request includes a dedication of 1.27 acres of roadways, including the extension of Huron Creek Street and Worcester Creek Street Northwest. There will be 26 additional platted lots in the subdivision in areas currently zoned R-1 single-family residence. This was approved by the City Planning Commission at the February 14th, 2024 meeting. Is there any questions from council members at this time regarding this request? Seeing none, I make a motion to waive the rules requiring 3 readings and bring ordinance number 28-2024 forward for a vote.
Second, Councilman Gray. Roll call for suspension, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 suspension.
And for passenger.
Sneed,
Yes.
Brian Booth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
And Ray.
Yes. Yes.
9 yes, 4 passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 28-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 29-2024.
An ordinance to accept the replat and vacation dedication of easements for Whitetail Creek Development, Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Creamer.
Thank you, President Slater. As stated, this request is to replat this easement for Whitetail Creek Development, which is located on the northwest corner of the 9th Street Southwest and Albrecht Avenue. It was approved by the City Planning Commission at the February 14th, 2024 meeting. This property is currently zoned I-1 industrial. We've had representatives attend from Bitdeer on 2 occasions at council at our work sessions to answer our questions. Are there any outstanding questions at this time that council members may have?
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I'd like to call forward the law director, please.
Mr. Richard.
Mr. President Slater, council.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but just in a generality, in your opinion, when land is privately owned within the city, if someone wishes to build upon that land and they are within all ordinances, zoning, and code that is currently in place at the time of purchase and build, can the city do anything to stop the building of the project?
First question first. I was born on the spot, so I don't have any problem with that. 2, no. I mean, if they clearly what you just said, if they are abiding by everything that we're doing, we cannot discriminate against an individual that may have money that buys land. We have a laissez-faire economy in America that basically says, you fight against your competitors and everybody's free to own land, own a business, as long as they play within the rules of the Secretary of State, local ordinances, things of that nature. So, you want me to summarize it, of course.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a scenario where everybody here can say, absolutely, we're not going to replat this land, and the Bitdeer coin facility in some fashion can still continue. Is that kind of what you wanted to flesh out?
That's exactly what I was trying to get to, because I think it's very important, regardless of how this council feels. I want to make it known that I can personally say, and I know all of you, obviously after 50 minutes, we hear what the community is saying. But this isn't a matter in previous debates that have come in front of council where somebody was requesting the zone change, and council had the authority to not approve the zoning change. This is a matter of them looking for an easement or a replat, and even if this council votes no, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm not going to put our attorney on the spot because you would want probably some time to research, but there's nothing in our books right now that stops them from building on the land that they own. It may not look the exact same as they presented because they would have to respect the easements, so they wouldn't be able to put a building over top of that easement, but they could run buildings alongside of them and still operate. So the question not, if we do not want to see this operation in the city, it's not ordinance number 29. It's the ordinances that we're not even talking about, and that is our codes and laws that govern us and oversee it. So I just want to make that very clear, that a no vote would not stop it. A yes vote does not endorse it. It's just simply saying that, yes, it's privately owned land, you're going to develop it, and we will let you build over the easement as long as you replace it. That's all we're saying. It's not for.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. What it comes down to then would be the ordinances, like you said, it's an I-1, so then it's incumbent upon our code enforcement to make sure to hold them to that specifically. I can tell you along with Councilman Creamer, who's been working on this issue, she's asked, I know that she's looked at some other cities that have specific decibel numbers listed in their ordinances. We've looked at that. I know Canton has that. So for times of the day, Monday through Friday, normal business hours, on the weekends, they fluctuate. If I remember correctly, I think that the highest allowed by Canton's ordinance, I could be wrong, but I believe it's 70. Is that 75? 75 actually. So we may absolutely, in the law department, look at putting, if they continue in that direction, certainly we want to protect our citizens and even those that are in Perry, our good neighbors. So we will absolutely look at bringing some legislation possibly to jump ahead of this and nip it in the bud. So it's not a situation where folks are dealing with it down the road like other places that we've heard about today.
May I continue?
Please.
So to that point, well, I just want to make this last little point is the biggest thing that we are concerned about here is noise, and with people discussing is it I-1, is it I-2. Well, we have in our current code that I-1, there's an expectation that the noise won't become excessive, right? I don't know if we can say we don't believe you. Like, I don't know if we can say I don't trust that you're going to abide. If they say that they're going to put the proper precautions in place and they're operating within the law and the ordinance, it's not a matter of whether or not any of us want or don't want the operation. It's a matter of, I don't know if we have a legal standing to stop them, and that certainly is in ordinance number 29. If we're going to want to, if the idea is to not have this operation, it has to come somewhere else. It's not ordinance 29. Ordinance 29 does not stop anything. And I just wanted to clear that up for everybody because it's obviously a hot topic, and I just want to be clear on what this ordinance actually does and does not do. That's all. Thank you.
Councilman Creamer?
I have a question for the law director also. On that same line, there's been questions regarding the zoning. Should it fall under I-1? It should fall under I-2. Are we confident that this type of company falls under I-1?
We're not. I mean, that's kind of the issue. There's so much ambiguity, excuse me, that we cannot seize or arrest somebody before they've done something wrong. I mean, right? That's a criminal thing. So we cannot go to a court and ask for an injunction about what they might do or what they're going to or probably what they did in Texas. Unfortunately, until they don't play by the rules, we are kind of hamstrung to let people do what they do. And if they're good on their word, then we don't have anything to enforce. If they don't, I assure you that our office, along with the other departments, absolutely, I mean, we've settled two pretty big demolition cases as far as the zoning ordinances and also the code ordinances in the city. We'll go after them just the same way we've gone after anybody if they break the rules. So, all right.
Councilman Cunningham?
Thank you, President Slater. If we would not replat this, would they have legal actions against the city?
Anybody can sue us. We get sued a lot. I would not have a problem defending that lawsuit for the city. I mean, that's not to say that they wouldn't bring a lawsuit, but I'm confident that your actions are protected. So, but in as much as they can't sue this body for what they decide or don't decide, it also doesn't necessarily deprive them of doing what it is that they intend to do. So that would be my first argument, is that they said, well, look, the board didn't vote for us to do this. I would say you're not deprived of anything because you can still go forward. So you have no damages, so thus no case.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Matthews?
Thank you, President Slater. Law Director, should we revise the ordinance to include quantifiable data that says X amount of decibels disallowable shut it down, however that works, that we protect our community and the surrounding communities. Is there a way that they would not be under that law because they've already broke ground, or they've already started, or their grandfather, any of that nature? They would have to, should a new ordinance be devised, they would have to comply.
Absolutely, plus they would already be on, with the exception of this council, your council, rezoning them to an I-2, they're going to be held under those stricter guidelines of I-1. So even if we do, and you asked me kind of at the beginning, should we? That's certainly a choice for you all to make based on your constituents. I'm certainly, I never like to tip my cards and tell you how I feel, but I'm willing to absolutely jump in and we can get some numbers. I can tell you that Canton's was done on a specific, they used audiologists, they used a lot of money, and they kind of found where that threshold was, where it really does start to mess with people as far as sleeping, depression, all the side effects from noise pollution. And we're absolutely prepared to take the same step for our citizens.
Councilman Harvey Smith.
So I have a concern.
Microphone, please.
Sorry, I have multiple concerns, but regarding what is on the legislation to, for these easements. So these easements that the city currently has on this property, and they want to give up these easements and bid here, make it one property, and we're not on it, and they're going to take care of all the water. Well, these easements, there's two large open culverts that dump onto this land, that take the water from the road and from the Industrial 1 Park. Everything flows that way, you can't change the flow. These open culverts go into the field right now. They don't go make it, they're several hundred yards, they don't make it to the creek. It's the water is absorbed in the field. So by putting these together, if we vote yes, we're going to allow them to manage it, and then we're going to be responsible for the water on the road and the drains, which ultimately ends up in the creek. They're going to put in this wonderful culvert drain system, or this new drain system that's going to go to a detention pond. But now, you know, so they're adding, but if they're taking our, we're giving up those easements, and they're building on all this, 75% of this area except for where the creek is, there is going to be more water because there's no absorption, and it's directly going to a creek, which is clogged and has flooding problems. So at that point, can people come back and sue us and that, because we are now knowingly putting water into a creek that we know is plugged. It has been brought to our attention. Whereas if, you know, so if we say yes and we give them those easements, they're going to change the drainage of all the water coming off the industrial park. Right now, it comes onto that land, onto the soil, and it's absorbed. When you take that away, and they take it and they put it all in the retention pond, that's still, now we're taking that water, no absorption, going directly into the creek that is blocked, which is causing all the flooding problems. We don't need a 100-year storm. They get like a 5-year storm. I think in 16 they got flooded twice. They had water 2 feet high on Albert and the whole way up. There's nowhere for this water to go. You know, and this is, the city owns all these, but they're, you know, owned by other people, the land, but the waterway still. I mean, for us to knowingly allowing, basically it's going to be more water because we just gave up our easement. So all that water is not just the water of the 30 acres. It's the water of the industrial park and the water, everything coming down the south of 9th Street, you know. So I want your opinion, but, you know, I hope everybody votes no. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
The question is, can we be sued if we knowingly put drain water directly into a creek that is plugged? Because we're changing the drainage. By giving up our easements, if we give up our easements, then they're going to be doing it, and then on 9th Street, we're also dumping water, but they're going to be taking that. Right now, the easement...
They're responsible for their own actions. So if we give them an easement and they somehow are negligent with water and it causes damage on other people, they would be liable. Not us.
So what about the water we're taking in that's being repiped down 9th Street? Does that apply?
Who's pumping the water?
I mean, not pump, the storm drains. Lead to the culverts that still lead to this whole southwest corner.
I don't understand. again, whose actions are created?
Ours, well, the city is gonna be responsible for 9th Street and the water drainage, and they're putting it all in and changing everything. They're gonna be responsible for their 30 acres. We're giving them our easements that control the water at the current time. So that's what I'm saying. The water is not control, I mean, there's a problem down there, and that water that is coming off this I-1 business district goes to this land and comes out and culverts into the ground. It doesn't even hit the creek. It's absorbed in the ground. It stops, a couple hundred feet further. They kind of have it like carved out. And we got a couple like big open drains that the water just drains and it's absorbed in the ground. When we take those away, and that's it. So then we're taking all the water coming from the development, their development, they're taking that's all going to the creek, and then everything that pass it over to the city storm drains on 9th Street, that's still coming down to the same spot. So we're knowingly adding water, aren't we?
We're knowingly handing over what sounds like a problem area to this business to fix, that they said that they are interested in fixing. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like we're taking responsibility and liability away from the city and giving it to these people if we no longer have the easements. So whatever they do with the water would be, they would be liable, of course, if they cause damage to other parties.
Councilman Rose?
Regarding that water issue, I would say we're asking the wrong question. The question should be, if it turns out, if we went down there and it turns out that we are dumping water into a field that is privately owned and claiming it under easement, and that it's supposed to be draining to a clogged out, we should be addressing that regardless. Because it is not, in my opinion, it is not fair or right of the city to hold a landowner prisoner by our waterways. Because it doesn't matter if the Bitcoin operation or a Dollar Tree or homeowners wanted to buy that land, they'd still have to deal with that water, and it'd have to be rerouted, and it'd have to be taken care of. So the question should be, what are we going to do to address that issue regardless of the development? Because otherwise, we're holding landowners imprisoned by our own waste of water. So we probably need to get with the administration and start sketching policies or programs that we can implement to clear up that issue now that's been brought to our attention. That's how I would address it.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions? Councilwoman Kramer?
Thank you, President Slater. Seeing no more questions, I would like to make a motion to waive the rules regarding 3 readings and bring ordinance number 29-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension.
Brian Hoop,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
No.
Lombardi,
No.
Ray,
No.
and Snead.
No.
That would be 5 yes, 4 no for suspension.
And for passage.
No.
President Slater, point of order, that did not back suspension. It needs to have 75%.
So it'll go up for 3rd reading?
Correct.
Okay,
For third reading, right?
thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to the third readings. Ordinance number 29-2024 is up for a third reading. Item number 17, remarks of delegations and citizens to matters not on the agenda. Is there anyone here tonight present that would like to speak on a topic which did not appear on the agenda? If so, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Thank you.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Matt Kishman from Minerva, Ohio. I serve as Director of Operations at our family-owned grocery stores. And I'm here tonight because I'm running for state representative for the 50th District. I was at the January meeting, but I didn't properly introduce myself, so I just wanted to introduce myself tonight. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Craven?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, please. Councilman Lombardi? Roll call, please.
Kramer?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Howard Smith?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Lombardi?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Sneed?
Yes.
And Ryan Booth.
Yes.
9 yes to adjourn.